Hello and welcome to Learn GIS Easily. In this video, I will be introducing you to Geographic Information System, commonly known as GIS, and how ArcGIS is used as a powerful tool for mapping and spatial analysis. GIS is an essential technology used across many fields to understand location-based data and support decision making. In this presentation, you will learn what GIS is, the types of data used in GIS, what GIS can do in real-world situations, and tools used to perform GIS analysis. This video is designed for beginners, so everything will be explained in a simple and practical way. Let's get started. So this is an introduction to GIS and ArcGIS. So let's start with the introductions to GIS and ArcGIS. So what is GIS? What is GIS? So the full meaning of GIS is Geographic Information Systems. So GIS captures, store, analyze, and visualize spatial data. In other words, Geographic Information System is an integrated computerized system for checking, integrating, storing, analyzing, manipulating, and displaying information which are spatially referenced to the Earth. So GIS, it captures, it stores, it analyzes, and we can visualize our spatial data. So when we are talking about the spatial data, what do you mean by spatial data? Spatial data, they are the data that are peculiar to the geographical locations. Imagine where are you right now? Imagine where you are right now. So that one is talking about the locations. The location, those are the spatial data. Then we do have, let's move to the next slide, which is the components of GIS. What are the components of GIS? We have the hardware, we have software, we have data, we have people, we have methods. So hardware, let's start with hardware. So hardware, examples of hardware is what you can touch, what you can see. For example, we have the PC, we have mouse, we have your GPS, the global positioning systems. Those are the hardwares, etc. Now let's deal with softwares, the component of GIS. Software is also part of the component of GIS. The software, we have different softwares that we can use in GIS. We have ArcGIS, we have QGIS, we have Saga GIS, we have Grass GIS. So the quantum geographical system, which is QGIS, so that one is an open source. While the ArcGIS is not an open source, you have to pay. But there is a way to go about we have ArcGIS, we have ArcGIS Pro. So the ArcGIS Pro is the latest version of GIS software. Now we have ArcMap. So ArcMap, or we call it ArcGIS 10.8. ArcGIS 10.8, so that one is an outdated version. So it's an outdated version, but people are still using it. So there's a way to go about it whereby you can crack it. So but we have a paid versions. I know especially a majority of students might not have the capacity or the ability to get the money, but if you want to crack it, you can try to check one of my videos on how to crack ArcGIS 10.8. So let's move to data. So in GIS, without data we can't do any analysis. So data is very, very important. So the data that we have, we have spatial data and non spatial data. So I'm going to explain this in my next slide. We have people. What are the people? The component of GIS. So people like a GIS analyst, a programmer, a surveyor, etc. Now the methods. Let's move to methods. So when we are dealing with methods, we have different techniques, different ways, procedure whereby we can use in GIS. That is how we collect our data, the data collections, how the step by step, how the analysis should be carried out. So I'm going to explain this in total. Try to follow me. So let's move to the next slide, which is the GIS software. I've explained this. We have GIS software, we have ArcMap, we have ArcGIS Pro, we have QGIS, we have Google Earth. We all have Google Earth on our phone, we have Google Map on our phone. So we have Google Earth, then we also have Google Earth Pro. So I'll be recommending, let me try to show you Google Earth Pro. So this is Google Earth Pro. This is the interface of Google Earth Pro. So you have to connect your PC to internet if you want to access it. So let me try to connect it. So this is Google Earth. This is Google Earth. So this is one of GIS software. This is one of GIS software. This is Google Earth Pro, and this is ArcMap. Let me show you ArcMap. We have ArcMap. This is the interface of ArcMap. Still coming. So this is the Google Earth Pro. This is the Google Earth Pro. Now we have 7 continents. So this is Google Earth Pro. So try to check my videos. I'm going to be explaining each. I'm going to explain software. So this is QGIS. Can you say QGIS desktop? So they are still loading. We have ArcGIS Pro. This is ArcGIS Pro. So I will only show you about GIS software that you can use. So starting from this is the first one, the Google Earth Pro. This Google Earth Pro. Still coming up. The internet is the major issue. Trying to connect to the internet. Yeah, so this is QGIS, thank God. So this is QGIS 3.38. This is QGIS. So this is one of GIS software, Quantum Geographic Information System. This one is an open source GIS. It's an open source GIS. You don't need to pay anything. This is QGIS. But one thing about ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS 10.8, the ArcMap, they are more advanced than QGIS. So this is ArcGIS Pro. I just wanted to show you the interface. Now it means ArcMap. Still coming up. So let's go back to our slide. I'm going to show you later. Let me waste time. So ArcMap, ArcGIS, QGIS, Google Earth. So let's move to the next slide. So what GIS can do? So GIS can create maps. It can analyze spatial data. It can measure distance and area and identify patterns. Let's say, for example, let me give you an instance. We all know that the effect of the carbon dioxide, the dangerous oxide in our society. Let's say we want to know the effect of dangerous oxide in our society. There is a smoke that normally come out of vehicles, cars. So that is carbon dioxide, right? Let's say we want to know the effect of those dangerous oxide in a particular geographical area, maybe carbon dioxide, sulfur oxide, nitrogen 4 oxide, etc. We can use GIS to know how the effect of those oxides on a particular geographical area. So those are and then to create maps to analyze spatial data, measure distance and area. Let's say you want to know the distance between where you are and where you are going to. So I'm going to be showing you this data. So real world applications. We have land use, land cover. We have rainfall analysis. We've spoken about we want to know the identify patterns. We have topography. This topography is when you are dealing with the natural and artificial features. Bathymetric map, when you are trying to know the depth of a river. You want to know the depth of a water bodies. So that is one is bathymetric map. And let me try to show you some maps. For example, this is rainfall. This is rainfall map. I think I still have some maps. Let me show you some maps. me show you some maps. You have info maps, you have land cover maps. You have some different maps. So this is bathymetric map. I'm looking for bathymetric map. Can we all see it? So this is bathymetric map. This is a bathymetric map. So it's very shallow, moderate, deep, very deep. So those are the examples of maps. Then land cover maps. Let me show. We have land cover maps. This land cover map, 2024 land cover map of Lagos State, Nigeria. So this is it. These are the examples of land cover map. You can look at the legend, the dense vegetation, water body, built-up area, barren land, etc. So that's it. So let me go back to the slide. So this is the interface of ArcGIS Pro. This is interface of ArcMap. Can you see this ArcMap? This is the interface. I'm going to be explaining the interface in my next video. So let me move to e-word applications. So let's move to the next slide. Problem GIS can solve. So GIS can solve a lot of problems in our society, like site selection, fluids, mapping, agricultural planning, urban development. Let's say you want to cite the suitability map when you are looking for maybe best way to cite a construction, a complaints. Then you can perform some analysis, site suitability analysis. Then flood risk mapping, maybe the effect of or the impact of flood in a particular area, the agricultural plan. So in an agricultural planning, so GIS is very important. Very important. You can, even though in climatic, in urban development, and many more like that. So GIS is very important in those sectors. So we have types of GIS data. We have spatial data and non-spatial data. So what is a spatial data? I explained that one earlier. Spatial data. So a spatial data with locations, show where things are. Examples are road, rivers, and boundaries. So spatial data usually give you the locations where things are. That's the locations. Imagine you can picture where you are right now. That's why I can know the coordinates. If I can know the coordinate, that's the spatial data. We have no spatial data. The spatial data is this with the attributes. They also known as attribute data. The attribute data in the sense that you are trying to know the informations, trying to collect the informations about the locations. Informations in general, descriptive informations, location. Examples are name, populations, types, etc. So that's the difference between spatial data and non-spatial data and how they work together. So spatial is equal to where and non-spatial is what? That's the question. Where? Then non-spatial is question what? So in GIS we use both spatial and non-spatial together. Now I say something that in GIS, before you do anything, data is very important. It's very important. So we can classify data into two. Can classify it into spatial or non-spatial. Now under spatial data, we have raster data and vector data. So when we're talking about the raster data, they are made up of pixel. So pixel means picture elements. They are made up of pixel. For example, if you look at this, Google Earth Pro, let me show you one raster image. Let me try to search a location. I'll show you the raster image. They are arranged in form of column, in form of a grid of picture elements that is arranged in rows and column. Let me search one locations like Lagos. So this is faster. So let me try to zoom. I want to show you something. I say raster image. They are arranging. These are raster image. Let me zoom. So these are the raster image. Can you see to get to a certain point whereby you are going to be seeing the arrays, the grid of pixels that is arranged in rows and columns. I'm trying to zoom. So these are the rasters. If you want to get it, you can go to your phone. Try to, if you snap a picture, try to zoom. When you zoom it very well, you are going to see some pixel that is arranged in rows and column. So that is what we call raster. Now let's move to vector. When we are talking about, so examples, raster data, they are continuous data. Examples are rainfall, elevations, etc. Elevation data, digital elevation model, them. So I'm going to show you all this. Try to stay tuned to my YouTube channel. I'll be explaining this. So vector data, we have points, lines, and polygons. So points, when you are trying to represent a locations with points. Lines, when you are trying to, let's say we have lines like roads, railways, that's lines, polygons, buildings, river bodies, etc. Those are the vector data. They are discrete features like roads and boundaries. So those are the vector data. And then we have shapefiles. So most of vector data, they are normally be in form of shapefiles. We have about 7. We have .shp, we have .dbs, we have .shs. So we have shapefile. So those are the common GIS vector formats that we use in GIS. Let me try to show you some examples of shapefile. You can be coming. Let me show you shapefile. We have shapefile. These are the shapefile. Can you see? We have SBS, SVN, PRG, CPG, etc. So when you are seeing .shp, that's the shapefile. So these are the shapefile. These are what we work with. They are in form of vector format. So that is that about. So why ArcGIS for industrial standard is a powerful tool and a widely used worldwide. It is widely used worldwide. You know, I said we have different softwares that we can use. We have ArcGIS, we have ArcGIS Pro, we have QGIS, we have GIS, we have Saga GIS, but the most frequently used software is ArcGIS. So widely used worldwide. And conclusion, so GIS is a powerful tool used in many industries. It helps to solve our real world problems. So that is that about. And lastly, subscribe, Learn GIS Easily, start your GIS journey. So let me just try to do the summary of everything. So in summary, GIS is a powerful system used to capture analyze and visualize spatial data, helping us to solve a real world problems and make informed decisions. So we have seen the difference between spatial and non-spatial data, as well as how spatial data can be represented using raster and vector formats. We also discuss how ArcGIS is used as a key tool in performing GIS analysis. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more practical GIS tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.